didn't do it. I have no explanation for why I didn't, other than the fact that I just didn't. So, but I will get it posted because I thought it went over pretty good, especially going through the team build. You know, the back page is, or the back office and stuff like that. So, I want to start this week out, and especially since we don't have a whole lot of people, if you guys would take a minute to, and at some point during this call, I would appreciate if everybody would send me a message about a topic that you feel you would like to see covered on a team call. Okay, so a topic that you feel that you'd like to see covered, whether it's just a little bit or a lot, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a huge topic. It just needs to be covered to the level that, you know, that you're saying, hey, look, I'm good, and I'd like to know more information about this. Okay, it can be anything. It can be connecting. It can be business side. It can be nutrition side. It can be macros. I don't care what it is. And if I don't have the answer, I'll reach out to somebody who's on the team that has the answer. Right? Let's say it's about being more organized. I'm thinking I'm going to call on Michaela for that one. Right? So you know, it's those kind of things that if somebody has a question, that we have enough people on this team that we can find a resource for a great conversation about a topic. So I'm asking everybody just to kind of make a comment about that. First off, what is going on with corporate stuff? So the current corporate update is there's not a whole lot of new stuff, if you will. There are some great corporate calls that have been being promoted. And I don't know how many of you were on the call on Saturday, but it was really good. And there is a whole new slideshow presentation that is a PowerPoint. First time Isagenix, to my knowledge, has done this. They have created a PowerPoint presentation that you can go in and you can edit the slides to whatever level you want, but it's a great flow of a PowerPoint. It's a really clean, it feels good, and it's really based off the fact that you should be able to sit down and in about 12 to 15 minutes, you should be able to talk to somebody, grab your phone, and scroll through the presentation with somebody on a phone, okay? Or you should be able to send them the presentation and they can click through it and like it and all that kind of stuff. So that's something I would tell you all to get familiar with. You'll go to Isagenix Business app. So you go to the Isagenix. So if you haven't downloaded the Isagenix Business app, then you may want to do that. Or you can just go to your back office under resources and go to Isagenix Business. Either one of those will get you there, and it is the new Isagenix Share Isagenix Business video. Okay, it's not all. I don't think it's the new Isagenix Business video. It's just the new Isagenix video. So it's not about business specifically. It does, as it should, gives a ruler in there that you can tell them, hey, look, there is also a way to earn some income with this opportunity. Okay, so just know that that's there. It's new, it's brand new, and it would be great for all of us, including me, to get to know it better. I watched it. I will tell you, because I don't want to, I wouldn't want to waste anybody's time or whatever. If you really, 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 really want somebody to go through it slide by slide by slide, you can watch the rerun of the Saturday video and spend the whole time doing it. It's fantastic. Or you can watch like the first 15-ish minutes of it, and then when Michael Klaus comes on and starts going through the slide by slide by slide, you can probably go to the slideshow and go over it yourself, and you will be just as informed, and it will take a lot less time. Because I did listen to it on the slide by slide by slide by slide, and it was a lot of slide by slide by slide by slide. So it's good to know, but don't, if you feel so inclined, I'll get off this here in a second, but if you feel so inclined to watch it, fantastic. But just know that going to the video and just actually watching it yourself, shoot out a few questions in the team page, you'll get plenty of information and you'll feel just as fulfilled as if you watched the entire thing. So anyway, just a little bit of side note for you. I see Michaela smiling. Michaela, did you watch it slide by slide too? A little bit. Okay.
Just like the first two slides, and then I stopped watching it.
Yeah, it was a lot. So yeah, it was good, but yeah, so all good, all good. I am not in the habit of really making anybody tear up in here, but I would like to wish Miss Greta some condolences on a recent pet loss. And that's always very, very sad. And so, sorry, Greta, it sucks. And I am a dog lover to my core. So I understand, and we're all thinking about you and all that kind of good stuff. So, anyway, just want to make sure that you know that we all are thinking about you on that level. The next thing I want to tell everybody is that's kind of the Ice Jinx update. The next thing, though, is don't forget that if you're not following your leader in action form, which I will go over it again tonight, like I'm going to continue to go over it until everybody's just tired of listening to it, but and I'm going to keep going over it. But the leader in action format, you are being rewarded with money by hitting those items based on your rank. Okay, so once you get to the rank of manager, okay, which is you have two people who you've enrolled who are consultants, you are now a manager. Once you've reached that level, you are eligible to earn this monthly income bonus if you hit the points needed in the leader in action form. So at manager, you need 20 points. And if you have 20 points in the leader in action form, you will earn a $200 monthly bonus. Okay. At director, if you are an active director and you hit 40 points in the leader in action form, you will earn $400. And if you are executive and you hit 60 points in the leader in action form, you will earn $600. Okay. So 200, 400, or 600 bucks. You've got to know how to track your points, and we'll go over that again this evening to make sure you guys know how to do that. But that is definitely something that I would tell you to know. And one of the other things that keeps kind of coming up that's been a bit of an issue, the corporate incentive that I believe goes through the end of the year is free shipping on an initial order of 300 subtotal dollars or more. Okay, so if somebody orders a minimum of $300 of product, not including shipping, not including taxes, but just product, and they order $300, then and it's their first order, then they get free shipping. Okay, so I would just make sure that you guys are aware of that. It can, especially for your people that are getting close to 300 bucks, like if they're within 20 bucks or something, they might as well just add on another $20 product so that now they're getting product for their 300 bucks instead of paying shipping for the 300 bucks, right? So I would tell you to do that. The last thing that's corporate related, Eddie, you ready to explain it?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay. All right. So Eddie figured out something this week that, quite honestly, I didn't know. I had it. I'll be honest with you. I had it wrong on my explanation of it. So Eddie figured it out through a phone call with Stephanie and VIP. So go ahead, Eddie. Explain it away. And this is reference your orders.
Right. So on Sunday, I was sitting around and I looked at my pulse, and I was 11 points on my left side from cycling again. So we've done this in the past. I'm sure a lot of people have. We went in and put a small order in just so I would cycle again. So got the confirmation, it went through.
Actually, that would be wrong.
And it was like 8:15 AZ time. So I woke up Monday in the middle of the day or something. I just checked my pulse, and I still had 11 on the left and 0 on the right. And I was like, I didn't really understand that. I should have had another cycle. So I reached out to Brent, talked to him a little bit about it. And we had a couple other issues with Angie's BV points for her Isobody. And we've been missing some bars in action for a while. So I got a hold, reached out to Stephanie, asked her if she could help. So we got on VP today, got Angie's ISA body points clarified, got that right. The bars will be here Thursday. And so we got talking about the BV. And the guy told me that when I place my order, that they go to, he said, your minor side. So Stephanie asked him, well, we thought that when you personally put in your points or your order, it goes to the side to help you cycle. And he said, no, that wasn't true.
Eddie, do you remember how many points you had on your left and how many points you had on your right at the time?
I mean, so the thing is it's really close to 600 points on each side. And I think that's what happened, because right now he has 589 on one side on the left and he has 484 on the right, and he needed 11 to go on the left. So I think what happened was he put 21 in and it was so close that it swapped. And I think that's what happened. So we should have looked at those points before we did that, because when they're that close to 600 and 300, that's happened before. You have to make sure you put it on that side that you actually need it so you can cycle.
Okay.
That happened to me too once, Brent, remember?
I
It took
remember it,
us
and I couldn't remember
forever
what
to
it
figure it
was.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because normally it would have gone. So if he was down to 100 points and like say 600 on left or whatever, it would have went to that lower side because normally we do that and we've never had any problem.
You
But I
put
think-
the order in, Eddie, or were you putting it in someone underneath you on one of those sides?
No,
Let
I
me
just
explain.
ordered it through my own account.
Yeah. So when I get that close, I always find someone underneath me and put it under them so it rolls up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he said that I should have done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never done it myself because I don't trust them. I don't know. I
No.
don't know what side they're going to put it on necessarily.
Well, I do now. And that's what
Yeah.
this is about, right? So this is the scenario, you guys. He had 589 on his left, 484 on his right. Does everybody understand why he has not yet cycled? Right? Because you need 600 points on one side and you need 300 points on the other. Okay. So corporate is looking at this and corporate saying, okay, or the system, the system's looking at it and saying, okay, you don't have 600 over here and you got more than 300 over here. So the system is waiting for the 11 points to show up over here. Okay.
Left.
So what happened is Eddie placed let's say he placed a 21 BV order here with the assumption, which I thought it was the same, with the assumption that this 21 BV would go over to this side to help him cycle. But what the system does is the system puts the 21 points on the side with the least number of points. Okay. So he went from 484 to whatever it be, let's say 505, right? Roughly, whatever. So that's what happened with the order. And this is really important for you guys to know on strategy, because if you understand this, then one, it allows you to help your team understand how to place the order, but it also allows you to understand how to place the order. So excuse me. So in the same scenario, let me clear all these. If he'd have had this scenario, if he'd have had 610, let's say, on this side, and he would have had 290 on this side, then the system would have applied it to the side that would have given him, if he ordered 20, right? Now he would be at 310. The system would have taken away 300. He'd had 10 left. And the system would have taken away 600 and he'd have 10 left over here, okay? Because the system is looking for this smallest number, no matter which side it is, okay? Now, for some of you, for any of you that you're missing this for whatever reason, don't feel bad, it's okay. We'll go back over it. It's like I tell you guys all the time, it's like any other business, there's all kinds of terminology that comes in. And if you shut your brain off, which is a topic tonight, then you'll miss it. Okay, so just let it flow through you, and it's okay, because as it flows through you, you'll eventually pick it up. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's it.
But the reason I was questioning this is because we've done this several times in the past, and it's always went through.
Yeah,
So
Probably
I didn't
because
know
you
what
were-
the series, because it seemed like it always is supposed to go to where it's supposed to help you, but obviously not in this case. But this isn't the first time that we've did it. We've done it several times in 2.5, 3 years, and
yeah, and
It's
probably
all-
you just didn't realize that it was always this smaller volume side was
yeah,
where you were waiting for the points.
right.
So this is good to know. It's good information. Eddie, thank you for going through the pain. All right, with knowledge comes sacrifice. Eddie sacrificed a little bit of his, gave up a little pain so that we could all have. A little,
That is no pain to me.
right. It's all good stuff. So thanks for sharing that with me. I appreciate it. Okay.
Hey,
All right.
Brent,
Yes. Go ahead.
I totally understand the least number of points and stuff, but someone mentioned how you can direct it to a certain side. My big question on that, and I get, by placing it in your downline, I get all of that, so it pushes up, I get that. But if you need those points in your business center to get like your 100 BV for the month or whatever, that's in your business center.
Yep.
Can you call in, place your order through headquarters and tell them you want it to go to the 500
Yes.
point side?
Yes, you would have to call in and ask them to place it on that side.
Okay.
Because you would have to put it, because in your back office, you could probably do it in your back office. In your back office, in the upper right-hand corner, under your My Account, there's a button there, and it says minor or major volume side. Okay, it defaults to the minor volume side. So when I say minor volume, for everybody that doesn't understand, let's say that, let's go back up with his scenario, 389, whatever, something like that. In this scenario, the points are going to go to the minor volume side, whichever side has the least number of points. Okay, so in this scenario, the points would come over here. Let's say you ordered 20, those points would come over here, and you still wouldn't cycle because you need 600 on one leg and 300 on the other to cycle. But the system is recognizing this. So if you click the button and you put major volume side, then those 20 points would go over here. And under the same scenario, you would now have, what is that, 609 points over here and 389 points here. The system would then say, okay, you're good. You've got 89 left. You've got 9 left, and you just made $54.10 because that's what a cycle is. Okay. So that would be the way to do that. That's a great question, Gail. And because I've never done it, if anybody chooses to do it, I'd love to hear the outcome from it. And I would probably suffer through chat or customer service versus just clicking the button and doing it. Okay, so that's my recommendation. All right. Okay. All right, so that's the skinny, if you will, on how the points rotate through and go into your account. The next topic that I want to cover is just kind of, well, I'm just going to cover what I usually cover towards the end. I want to cover this now because it's in my head a lot. And that is, I want you guys to think about your personal strength. Okay, so I asked you guys, if there's a topic you want covered, please take a moment and send me that and we'll cover it. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to write down what you feel your number one, and I don't want you to write down 2, I don't want you to write down 3 or 5, I want you to write down one skill that you believe you have when it comes to something that you feel like you're good at when it comes to people. Okay. Now, maybe that's being compassionate. Maybe that's being talkative. Maybe that's being, I don't know. Maybe it's being giving. I don't know what it is, but I want you to think about the one skill that you believe you have that gives you and it's fulfilling to you. Okay. Because sometimes people are compassionate and I'm looking at Michelle when I say this. So sometimes people are compassionate and they may not feel that that is a sales skill. It is. Okay. I want you to think about being talkative and think about how is that a sales skill? It might be a sales skill, but just like being compassionate, it can also be detrimental, right? So there's positive things and detrimental sides to all of it, right? Too talkative, too compassionate, right? You let people do things and you give too much, right? Versus requiring enough to make it, somewhat symbiotic in your relationship, right? So I would want you to all take a moment and think of just one thing, because some of you will write down more than one. Don't do that. Okay, write down one, because I want you to think about that, and I want you to think about that one thing, and I want you to think about how that impacts your business. Okay, good or bad. Actually, I would want you to do good and bad. Sometimes what I've seen on the groups is that a lot of times we attract the same people that we are, because we spend so much time wanting to feel good about how we are that we seek out other people who are like us, and then we bring them all in. And if you go looking for people that like to talk a lot, then a lot of times what you do is you end up with a whole lot of people that like to talk a lot, and then nothing really gets accomplished because everybody's waiting to talk. If you bring in an entire team of super compassionate people, then maybe you're spending a lot of time having your shoulders cried upon. Now that sounds a little bit derogatory, and that's not meant to be, but it's because it becomes you become really engaged in other people's lives, and then you get distracted from your intentional goal of building your business to what you want it to be. Okay, so, and I want you to think about those positives and negatives of that one topic. Okay, and then I'm writing that down because I want to talk about that next week and see how many of you actually took the time to write it down, and then what your positives and negatives are on that topic. And from that, I want you to think about this mindset for the purpose of that item. And I heard this today. This is a Maxwell thing, right? So and it really hit me. Like, I realized, like, wow, I've never heard it. And I don't know why I've never heard it. Maybe I've heard it before. I just never paid attention. But it is, are you a reservoir or are you a river? Okay, so are you a reservoir or are you a river? Are you constantly storing everything up, or are you allowing things to flow through you so that you are being fed and you are feeding, right? Because sometimes people are a reservoir and sometimes people are a river. And there's good and bads of both, right? There's a time to be both. But he went on to explain that, and his another analogy that he gave was, do you have your life, okay, imagine your life, or let's say your world, and you've got your world closed up in your fist. If you have your world closed up in your fist and something really good comes by, how are you going to access it? Right? Now you've got it, right? So imagine a $100 bill in your hand, right? You've got that $100 bill, but if another couple $100 bills comes flying by, can you grab them? You can't grab them because you've already got your fist clenched, right? So, and then once you obtain this, can you pass it on? Are you okay with passing it on? And a lot of times people they're
having a little talk. I'm just listening.
It's just a little one. It's just so engaging that if you hold on to something, you can't get other stuff in your life. And so what I really want you to do is I want you to really think about, are you a reservoir? Is this one topic that I asked you to find? Is that one topic, is it your reservoir or is it your river? And then again, kind of think about both sides of it, okay? So that's kind of the topic that I wanted to share with you guys. Usually I say that for the last part of the call, but I wanted to go over that because it really struck me, and I really got to thinking about it. And I thought, you know, sometimes I'm a river and sometimes I'm a reservoir, and I can see the benefit of both. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, let's go over some business. Last week, I shared with you guys a little bit about the back office and how to look at your back office and how to check it. How many of you went and looked at your IsaBody challenge report to see how many people you have in your downline that are in the IsaBody challenge? Okay. If you didn't, it's okay. If you did, congratulations. Good for you that you took the time to look at it. Were you surprised? Did you see anything that surprised you, Michelle? April, Carla, you guys see anything that was like, oh, I didn't realize that person was ordering still, or anything along those lines? Yeah.
I had just looked a couple days before that, so no, it wasn't a surprise.
Okay, that's good though, because that means you're checking. So I would encourage you, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I had some extra time, and Saturday morning, I just went through and I messaged everybody that was within a month, and I said, you're at this and you got till this. You know, it was a nice message. It wasn't like that. And that actually generated some orders and stuff, and people were grateful. But I also saw some people I didn't know and I couldn't find them. So that was a little bit surprising to me because they're in my downline, so whatever. But, you know, that's a great way to reach out to somebody and ask them to send the BV up the tree without saying, hey, will you order? Like, because you're doing them a favor. And then I saw some people were done with their BV, and I wanted that to remind them to turn in their pictures, like to watch for that email so they didn't miss it. So I did that. I made like a whole little list, and then I put them all in the group and I tagged them all and I made it a nice body thing. I was very proud of myself because I thought it was like really a cool thing for them to do. But at the same token, it's good, you know, marketing for the group for other people to get in it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It did take some time. It probably took me about an hour, but I think it was an hour well spent.
No, I think that anytime that you can go through your back office and identify people to connect with, that's a good thing. Okay. Something that Isagenix is doing, and some of you may have noticed this, is Isagenix will send you, as the enrolling sponsor, emails when your personally enrolled, have been on the system, since they've been enrolled for, it's like 100 and, once they've been on for like 100 and I think they send it out at 170 days or maybe 150 days, something around there. Because what happens is, and I'm going to show this because I know we got some new people on here, so I want you guys to see this. So what happens is, if this person is a preferred customer, okay, in Isagenix, you have these ranks: preferred customer, associate, consultant, manager, director, and executive. That's it. Those are your ranks in Isagenix. You are one of those people, okay, if you're in Isagenix. If you're a preferred customer, from the day one that you sign up, for the first 90 days, Isagenix will allow you to build what they call personal holding volume. So for the first 90 days, anything that you order is going to be put here. So let's say that you started off with 164 BV. You started off with a 30-day pack. Okay. Here's what's going to happen with those points from that 30-day pack. You are going to have a personal holding volume of 64 because when you are brand new, or anytime you order after your grace period has expired, those points, that first 100 points is gone. It goes away. You don't get it. You do not get a bank it. So when you first enroll, with Isagenix, you have a personal holding volume. Let's say you enrolled with 164 BV, you bought a 30-day. You would bank 64, and the first 100 would go up your tree to the people above you. Okay. Now, anytime that you order after this first 30 days, you're going to bank the entire amount. So let's say that you're a brand new person and you ordered 64, and then you ordered 50, and then you ordered 100, and then you ordered another. So my math is easy. You ordered another, what would that be, 34? Right, 34. So you would order another 34, right? So now you've got 250 personal holding volume. Okay. And your 90 days has gone by. Okay. And let's say, for example, that you're on a team that there's people being put below them. So they're also going to bank points that are coming up from here. So let's say this person started with 100, this person started with 100, this person started with 100. So now this person has 300 points sitting here, and they have personal holding volume of 250. Okay, that's how the system would work. After this 90th day, this will continue to increase if they order more points. This will not. Okay, this stops banking points after the 90th day. On the 180th day, that's their last day they're available. And if they do not convert to associate on that 180th day, on day 181, all these points will zero out. And you might ask why? Why would Isagenix do that? Isagenix does that because as a customer, they want them to have a customer experience. And there's really no benefit to telling somebody, and a lot of us could learn something from this, after 180 days, hey, keep joining me, keep joining me, keep joining me, be my business partner, be my business partner, be my business partner. At that point, Isagenix is like, hey, look, you obviously don't want to do the business at this time anyway. So we're not going to bother you with notifications about points and all that kind of stuff. And you're just going to go to zero. Now you can convert to associate anytime after that, and you will start banking those points again. But on day 181, if you haven't converted to associate, the points are gone. So Isagenix sends you out a notice again. Let's say it's, I don't know if exactly day 150 or 160, whatever, but they send you a notice and it says, hey, just so you know, Gail Fromm is about to lose her holding volume. And that's because, and if you look, that's because Gail's never converted to preferred customer, right? Because you would go look, you'd find Gail, you'd say, oh, she's never converted to preferred customer. So what I do is I send a text message or a Facebook message to those people. And this is the one I recently sent. Hi, Margaret. I sent you an email, because I also sent them an email, about your current holding volume. And what I did is I forwarded them the one from corporate. Okay. I sent you an email regarding your current holding volume. Please let me know what questions you have. I would love to help you convert to an associate. It allows you to continue to bank points and opens up the opportunity to earn some income. There's a $30 fee to access your back office, and that fee is once a year. That's it. I didn't send anything else. That's the entirety of the message. That was it. And the email was very precise and similar. Okay. The response I received back, hi Lee, I read your email. Nice, I'm interested. Wrapping up. And she talks about some personal business. We'll give you a call next weekend to discuss. Okay. This went back and forth for about 3 weeks. Today I had a really great call with her. Okay. So not always do I hear a response back. Sometimes I get nothing back. Often I get nothing back. But I'm just letting you know that Isagenix also gives you that reminder. Okay, it's kind of like your Penny app. If you're not sending out the messages through your Penny app, then you're missing out on that opportunity. Does anyone have a question about this preferred customer status and how these points come up and where they go? Everybody good? All right, cool. All right, so that is a big thing, and I want you guys to understand the value of going through your tree and identifying people on your tree and what they have in points. If you go, I have asked and asked, and I'm going to continue to ask because I haven't gotten it yet, but I know if I keep asking, I'll eventually get it. But I want corporate to give me a report. Greta, you've got to contact Isagenix IT. I want someone to create a report that shows me anyone who has 900 personal holding volume or more. Okay, in my entire downline. And I know it can't be that hard. Now, I can also understand why corporate doesn't want me to have that, right? Because just think about if I was able to go down and identify, and I can find them, it just takes a lot of work. But if you go down and you find people who have holding volume, then you can also share with them how to make money. And they've already got enough holding volume to actually make money, right? So I'm not sure that that's why corporate's not giving me that report, but I can kind of get behind the idea about it. You know, it's like, you know, they don't want it. If they wanted it, they'd ask about it. But just know that that's something that I'm trying to get. And if I ever get it, I'll certainly let you guys know. But 900 points or more, good information to know. Go through your tree, find people that have that kind of personal holding volume, and then connect with me, connect with Stephanie, April, Carla, whoever on the team that can help you, show you how to make those people or help those people to earn some income. Okay. All right. Let's see. I pulled up something in the back office here I wanted you guys to see also, and it is, sorry guys. I am going to pull up the leader in action information here. I tried to pull this up last week and it wouldn't give it to me, so I'm trying to find it here this week. Hopefully it'll pop up here. I meant to pull it up before we got started and I just didn't. Does anyone have any questions about points, accumulation of points, anything from that? And I would prefer a question versus no question. So even if you've got a question that maybe one of your team members has asked you and you just want to talk about it, I'd love to hear it. Go ahead.
I'll throw something out at you here, Brent.
Okay.
Carla and I have been going back and forth with headquarters on this, and just a heads up for people. And I appreciate that Eddie mentioned Angela was having some BV challenges with her IsaBody as well. Mine was a situation where during COVID, the onset of COVID, the credit card company happened to bill my Isagenix amount twice. And it didn't show up on Isagenix side, and I only got one order, which I ordered and I paid for one, but the credit card company charged me twice. When I called the credit card company and called them out on it, and I said, I'm disputing one of those charges, but not both, they ended up canceling both, which of course threw me into a major nightmare with Isagenix and all kinds of fees and whatever else, which Isagenix understood what had happened, but to try to get points back because at one point everything was gone. But in the IsaBody challenge side, I got everything else fixed, but in the IsaBody challenge side, that 103 BV that I had ordered that they canceled, it didn't show up back there. And Carla's panicking, but I knew I was good because I had another order I had to place anyways, which would have gotten me up above 500. But Isagenix reply was something to the effect of, well, you never asked for that BV to be replaced in your IsaBody challenge. Wouldn't ever think I would have had to have asked for that BV to be replaced in my IsaBody challenge. So just keep an eye on those points. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's important and everyone should. Here's the thing: if you're a preferred customer, you obviously have access to that, but you may not know to look. And this is something that as team builders and leaders, you really want to check your IsaBody challenge thing, because if you know you've got somebody on your team that's ordering regularly and they're not showing points, you may want to reach out to them and connect with them and say, hey, I noticed that we're seeing something here. Did you do something? Because I'll give you an example. I had a team member, very similar situation, and from the looks of their back office, it looked like they had never stopped ordering because they had points in every week. But then they didn't have enough points left over that the math just didn't work. Well, when I finally got corporate on the phone and we went through it, we figured out that they had actually gone inactive for like 4 or 5 days during one of the weeks, and then had come back. So they had gone past their grace period, but then they came back that same week. But they had, like, let's say your grace period expires on Monday and they don't come back until Saturday. Well, you've gone inactive for 4 days, and inactive is inactive. So you've got to order. You have to have 100 points that you've ordered over the course of 30 days. And the best way to think of that is every point is worth 30 days. So every point is, again, because I'm visual, every point that you order is good for 30 days, right? So if you order 50 points on day 1, right, that 50 points is good for 30 days. If you order another 50 points on day 20, that's good for 30 days, right? But you're only going to be at 100 points during this particular time period. Okay, so during this overlap, you're active. But on the other side of it, on either side, you're not. Okay, that's why it's best, if you are interested in the business side of this, is that you set up a 100-point order, 100 BV order that is on your auto ship, so that you don't ever fall out of active status. And that's, and I get the issue that you had, Gail, but I'm just saying that's something to be aware of. Okay. All right. So I am going to share with you guys this portion about the.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yep, absolutely.
I think it would be beneficial to other teammates if, instead of us showing all of our stacks of free stuff that we get, I think that would be more beneficial for us to share our pictures or share the process, because that's always what people are afraid of. People are always afraid of, I don't know, who's going to see my pictures? Do I have to send them to you? Is Brent going to see them? I've had that one before. So maybe just talking, when we talk about Isabati, we're always like showing our stack of BIA and just share the process and how easy. Like, it took me 5 minutes to upload. You know, every month I ordered 125 BV, and I'm glad I did, because now I got this. I don't know, just an idea.
Yeah, sure. I could kind of envision that, right? You show your products that you got, but then talk more about the process to get that, and just like, oh, God, I'm great to have my Isabati. I'm great to have my Isabati. This is how easy it was. These are all the
Or
things.
I just entered.
Yeah.
I just entered. Have you? You know, different things like that.
Yeah, and I entered again, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to show you guys leader in action. So for anyone who ever asks, how do I earn points? How do I make money in this business? This is how Isagenix judges, are you growing? Is your team growing or not? Okay, this is only about points. This is only about how you can kind of gauge how well you're doing. And it's all about, it's a points that are awarded, and you really want to make sure that these points that you're being awarded, you understand why you're getting them and what it really means. Because at the end of the day, the leader in action is just accumulation of points. It doesn't have anything to do with money. Like, there's no cash specifically. There's some awards right now, like I told you guys, but it's really more about a measure of how well your business is growing. Okay, so I would tell you guys always to follow your leader in action points so that you understand your growth pattern. Okay, so what does Isagenix pay attention to? These are the indicators that Isagenix pays attention to. Isagenix pays attention to this one. Are you enrolling people? 1 PET, are you enrolling people? The next one they pay attention to is are the people that you're enrolling, are they enrolling people? Okay, so I enroll Kelly, is Kelly enrolling people? Okay, the next one is, are the people that you're enrolling, not only are they enrolling people, but are they what they refer to as rank advancing? So am I enrolling people that are becoming consultants? Am I enrolling people that are becoming managers? Am I enrolling people that are becoming directors and executives? Because like I've told you guys 1,000 times, 2 jobs in this business: 1, become executive, and 2, make more executives. Okay, that's the river, right? Flow through you. You got to be open to it. You want to make sure that I'll call it a river with a really small dam, right? You got to hold back enough to keep your reservoir full, but you want that overflow gate open full speed, because you need enough to make sure that you're capable to give more, but you've also got to make sure that you're giving and not just holding on to. Okay, same thing goes, and I thought about it as how it would relate to Isagenix Nutrition. We have so many people that have amazing results from Isagenix Nutrition, and they are reservoirs. They ain't sharing it with anybody, right? I know I've got all this stuff, and I know I'm having all these amazing results, but I just can't imagine sharing this information with anybody. And to me, that's a reservoir, right? Because they're not letting that goodness flow forward, right? I'm making money in Isagenix. That's fantastic. Are you helping other people make money in Isagenix? Right? Or are you just, and we got a lot of those. We got a lot of people on this team that are making a significant amount of money every single month. They ain't telling anybody else how to do it. And that's unfortunate, right? They're a reservoir, or actually, yeah, they're a reservoir. They're saving that up. So anyway, all right. And the last one that Isagenix pays attention to is, are you staying active at your rank? So basically, are you personally staying active at the ranks, or are you dropping in and out of your status? Okay, so what does that look like? Isagenix gives 1 point to you if you are manager every single week. Isagenix gives you 2 points if you are director every single week, and Isagenix gives you 4 points for every week that you are at executive. Okay, so you can see here on this particular month, we got 16 points because we stayed at executive all 4 weeks. Okay, this next week that you're looking at here, this was a 5-week month. Okay, so there was 20 points because we're always at executive, always at executive there, because there's all kinds of money, extra money, bonus money to be made at executive. Ain't that right, Carla? Carla got paid last week. If Heidi's on here, I know she got paid. Stephanie, did you get paid last week? I know you did. So because the Monday closest to the 15th of every month is bonus Monday. So any bonuses that you're due, which we got to talk about Michaela and the landslide of cash that she got from the director pools. So very cool stuff. Bonus Monday, the Monday closest to the 15th. The next one is personally enrolled rank advancement. So are the people that you're enrolling, are they becoming consultants? Are they becoming managers? If they become a consultant, you get 2 points. If they become a manager, you get 6 points. And if they become an executive, you get 10 points. Okay, so it's really important. And actually, we talked about this when this first kicked off, that if you create managers, you're going to make more points. You can create, it's way easier to create 3 managers than it is to create 1 executive. And if you create 3 managers, you're doing well, not only for yourself, but you're actually showing someone how to really make income in this business. Okay, it's not significant, it's not crazy money. But it's a few hundred bucks. At that point, it'd be several $100 bucks, but it'd be nice money, right? So you can see on this particular week, we got 6 points, or that month we got 6 points. So I don't know, that could have been 3 consultants. It could have been 1 manager. I don't remember what it was. Next one is a maximum point. They'll only give you 20 points total, but this is something that Isagenix does that I think is super important. If I enroll Kelly, I get 1 point. If Kelly enrolls Michaela, I get 2 points. So it's more important for me point-wise to help my people get enrollments than it is for me to get enrollments. Isagenix is trying to encourage us to help our team members rank advance, enroll people. Okay, so we're getting bonus points because we help people enroll people. Now you can only get a maximum of 20 of those every month, but it's still a great tool to keep in mind. Are you helping your people that you've enrolled enroll people? Okay, and then the last one is how many people did you enroll that month with 100 points or more? Okay, and that's how, those are the points, that's how the points are accumulated, that's how they stack up, and this is how you know, and this is how I would tell you to rate yourself on a month-to-month basis, is are you doing more or less? And it's a great tool. And sometimes some of us we don't want to know, so we just kind of close our eyes. It's kind of like, yeah, my pants got a little tighter, but I ain't stepping on the scale because I don't want to know, right? I'm not going to track my food because I think I'm doing pretty good, but I don't really want to know. And that happens a lot, right? I know you guys have all coached through that. I know you guys have tried to coach people and help people who, how many of you have asked somebody, are you drinking enough water? And what do they always say? Oh, I'm drinking water like a machine. I drink so much water you can't imagine. Oh, I drink gallons of water. Would you mind tracking for me for a day? Yeah, I tracked and I drank like 4 glasses of water. It's amazing. It's like you realize that's not a lot of water, right? And that is probably the number one resource that people miss out on nutrition, but it's because they don't, they say they're doing it, but then when it comes down to tracking it, then they don't. And if you don't track it, you can't measure it. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. And it's something that's so important for you to know that you've got to track and measure this stuff, you guys. And that includes your business. If you want your business to grow, but you're not willing to do the leader in action report, I don't tell you. I can't help you because I can't even say, okay, Annie, send me your leader in action report. I don't have it. How many people you know? How many people you talk to? Oh, I've talked to a ton. Well, what's a ton? Like literally, like, because a ton, if you're talking to 200-pound people, right? I mean, what is that? You know, you got to know what that really means, right? So I would encourage you guys to track not just your personal consumption or your team members' consumption when it comes to, and I'm not talking about calories or whatever, but just different things. Ask them to track their water intake. Ask them to track their protein intake. You don't have to track their calories. I think calorie tracking is pointless because if I'm tracking calories and I tell you, oh, and I can tell you, I've had this happen 1,000 times. Are you tracking? Yes. What are you tracking? Calories. Fantastic. How many calories are you eating? 2,000. That sounds or 1,200, right? 1,200. That sounds perfect. Does that sound perfect to everybody? 1,200 calories? Okay, maybe. But what if I told you it's 1,200 calories with a Snickers? Right? Because it's 1,200 calories, but it's 1,200 calories with a Snickers, right? So hey, I had 1,200 calories today. Fantastic. What'd you eat? Ice cream. I had 1,200 calories with ice cream. It's not quite so amazing, right? So track what they're eating and then they will have a better result, right? If you show people how to track what they're consuming from a protein standpoint, what's wrong with that? I know, right? Michelle, seriously, 12, for anybody who wants to know, I'll tell you what Tracy made Zach for his birthday, and it was not on anybody's macro calendar. Let me tell you right now. But the reality is it's important to track. And I'm going to wrap it up with that, you guys. I would encourage you guys to track your business activity. Know if you say you're talking to a ton of people, what does that mean, right? Did you talk to Sally, John, Frank, and Ann, or did you just talk to a bunch of people, right? Did you make a couple of Facebook posts, or did you post with intention? Okay. There's some really great stuff out there on social media if you decide to look about what, there's really 3 topics that you should post on, right? Just 3, right? One or three reasons that you post. One is to gain contacts, posting stuff that makes other people want to follow you. Okay, that's one. Two is you're gaining content. Two, or gaining people. Two is to educate, right? To educate people, right? That could be one. That's the other one. And the third one is to get is an ask. Okay, you're asking people to do something. Some of us, not us, because I will say not us because I don't do this. Some people, they make all their posts they're asking people to do is, follow this link and see which celebrity you look like, right? What's the value in that, right? But sometimes that's what some people are doing. Fill in how many people who would be with you on your Titanic, right? And then all of a sudden you're asking people, because you're asking, right? You're asking for something. You're asking them to fill out this form that's telling you who would be the drunkest person on the boat and who's most likely to fall off and all those kind of stuff, right? Because that's what you're asking people to do. And that's cool, but it still fits one of those three things. So I would encourage you to look at when you're posting something, what is the intent of that post? Because if you're posting something about your kid or you're posting something about your life or your family, are you looking for people that want to follow you? Is that an educational thing? Or are you asking them to do something? And that's really what you're looking at, right? It really falls under one of those categories. Okay. So your assignment is write down your one thing that you think that you have that is a business, could be a business or it could be a relationship or thing that you are, and some pros and cons about that, and we'll talk about it next week. All right. I appreciate you guys being on here. I know it's Tuesday. For some of you, it's East Coast time, so you're more tired than others, and I appreciate that. I do want to give a real shout out to Michaela. Michaela, did you find out what was your actual profit side of the director pools?
I'm trying to pull up the actual invoice, but my other compensation was $11.97. So I'm pretty sure that's all.
That's what it was. $1,197, you guys, in the director bonus pool.
Director pools.
For the month. So that's fantastic. Congratulations on that. Michaela,
Thank
you
you.
are the only person, right? Just let you guys know this, right? Because I think this is so important. You're the only person out of 29,300 and something people now on the team that made money in the director pools. So that's huge, huge, huge accomplishment. It really is.
Thank you. Thanks for helping me.
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome. And I know executive is coming. So, but
That's
I did find that out too. And I want you guys to know, I complained a little bit. And I don't complain often about stuff to corporate, but I complained a little bit about this one. If you have a person, and I'm going to use the true life example here, Kelly D, right? So I enrolled Kelly. Kelly enrolled Michaela. For the leader in action points, right? Michaela will become an executive, which is fantastic for her. Kelly will earn 10 points in leader in action for the month on rank advancements alone. Okay, because she enrolled Michaela and Michaela became executive. When you enroll someone and they become an executive, your personal title changes. So your personal title, you gain what they call a golden star, right? So if you are a 1 golden star, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that means you have enrolled that number of people who have become executives. So Kelly will become a 1 golden star because she will have one person that she's enrolled and has become an executive. Even though Kelly's title changes, we don't get any points for the leader in action. And I called corporate, and I called our regional sales manager, and I told him, I said, I want you to know I can appreciate that and I'm cool with it, whatever. But the best indicator for personal growth is you creating executives and those executives creating executives. So why that doesn't count for points makes no sense to me. Because I would beg all of you to create executives. Because if you guys are creating executives, that is your indicator of your growth. I promise you. The number one income earners in all of Isogenics have in the vicinities of 20 plus personally enrolled executives. Okay, you want to know how to make the kind of money that the Cepedas make and all those people make? 20 something personally enrolled executives. That's how you get there. Okay, because when you're creating executives, you know those executives are creating executives. All right, I'm 2 minutes over. You guys, thank you so much. It's Tuesday. I appreciate it. Greta, we're thinking about you. Michaela, congratulations. And you guys, thank you so much for being on the call. I appreciate it. And
Hey, I have a quick idea.
Go ahead, Sis. What?
I have a quick idea for everybody this week to see if you can every day give a shout out to a business person or a business on your page, because I feel like we're always asking for, like, you know, here's our information